Yeah, so the lung support and detox would help for that, but in addition, you need to be diffusing tea tree and peppermint in a diffuser and a humidifier. But the biggest issue is you need to get rid of the problem. I hope you're not still living in that area where you have mold and mildew, and that's terrible. You shouldn't be breathing that stuff in. Actually, mold is known as a silent killer because it can. And the other thing too is if your mold has fungi or the spores, the mold spores, it's crazy, but it can actually get into your lungs and take a hold. I read a story a long time ago about this man. It completely freaked me out. It changed my life forever. But I don't think it was in this country. But he was living in a moldy building or apartment or something, and he was breathing in these mushroom spores, or not mushroom spores, mold spores, and it was the black mold, and it actually took a hold in his lungs and started growing. And so it was showing me pictures of the mold spores growing in his lungs, and it got so bad that he couldn't breathe. Like, he almost ended up dying. They had to put him into emergency surgery to get the like, they did some kind of a terrible harsh treatment on him to try to get rid of the mold spores so he could stop growing. And ever after that, that story just really stuck to me. And ever after that, I'm like, I go to great lengths to make sure there is no mold anywhere. Okay, I do run the humidifier and diffuser, but I also run dehumidifiers. So if you are going to, let me say something. If you're diffusing your ass off and you're doing a lot of the Gurinanda humidifiers and diffusers, you need to be running dehumidifiers as well. I have 3 in our bunker. There's one in the back, one here, and one in our son's room. And I set them for 30% humidity. So no matter how much I'm diffusing and humidifying, the air moisture stays okay, so we don't have any kind of mold. Also, in your bathrooms, guys, you should be running a small dehumidifier in there because bathrooms are the haven for mold spores. But anyway, for you, you should also be diffusing tea tree oil. Okay, tea tree oil from the Gurinanda company. And you can also do peppermint in a diffuser would greatly help. But the biggest problem is getting rid of the mold. Like, I hope you're not still staying there where there's mold, because that's very dangerous. It's not a good thing. Please check your homes and make sure you are not living in mold, because that is the worst thing. Anybody, I know over in the new house my husband built, like, that's one of the reasons, like, he gutted the whole thing to make sure, like, there's no mold or anything in the walls. Like, he gutted it down to the studs. He's like, I'm not having my family live in any place where there's mold or anything like that. So he's really crazy about making sure that the air quality is good too, especially for mold. So don't play with that. Do try to get that taken care of, because, yeah, it can be very dangerous.